Roy,
Gary, that you? How you doing? Lisa, how are you?
hey guys, how are y'all doing? Hey Lisa, I don't know if y'all can see me.
I
Everybody's
can
doing
now.
well. Yeah, good. Excuse me, I know I don't have my back camo background on, so you might see some fishing pictures or whatever else in my background. So excuse me.
No worries. I didn't know I had to let people in on this meeting. Wow.
Yeah. So you guys doing all right? It's probably better.
Yeah, doing good. Trying to get my hip replacement going. It's held me back a little.
Oh,
When
well, I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's been 11 weeks, and I just still can't believe I'm not playing golf yet. It's my knee was a lot easier. Forgive me if I'm not paying close attention. I'm busy letting people in. I didn't know I had to do this.
That's all right.
I'm just seeing everybody coming in.
Hi, everybody.
So if I'm quiet a minute, Marianne will keep us going here.
Yep, Christine and I are we're gonna keep this show going.
Keep this party going.
All
Uh-huh.
right. Well,
Roy,
hi Christine, how you doing, girl?
Good. How are you?
Doing fabulous.
Good.
Pretty
Good to
sunny
see
out
you.
today.
Thank God.
I can't say it's warm, but it's sunny.
That's okay. I'll take the sunshine anytime.
Oh,
for
no kidding.
sure.
Let's see. I'm still letting people in here, so forgive me as I
No worries. No hurry.
guess
This is our,
we should have put a passcode in here, shouldn't we, Marianne?
You know, I think what maybe next time we can do is you can have Christine and I be co-hosts, and then we can help you out, so you don't have to do all the work.
I like that idea.
Hi,
All right, let's see. Here we go.
everybody.
It's
Hang
good.
on
We've got a
there
good
for a minute.
attendance here.
Hey, hello, good afternoon all.
All right, there we go. I think I caught up now. I think now, here we go.
You'll probably get some stragglers too, Roy, I'm sure.
Yeah, no worries. It's
Roy, I'm
just,
sorry to hear you're not up and running yet. I'm sure the golf course is calling your name.
oh my gosh, this has been very frustrating because I can't do anything to improve on it because the hip, you can't do anything. That she just wants me to walk, my surgeon.
Yeah.
So, when I had my knee done, I could just keep working at it and working harder, and I keep getting better. This you can't. The harder you work, you get worse.
Oh, no.
Oh,
That's why
that's
they make golf carts, Roy.
Ah, you still have to swing the golf club. I need my hips.
Yeah. That past client thing with Jill.
There we go. I think I'm
Past
caught up
client
now.
thing with Let me Jill. forward you an email.
Ooh,
There
There
we
were
have his time. All right, we're about one after.
okay.
Roy, do you know how to make Christine and I
I
co-hosts?
do. I do know how to do that.
Okay, you might want to do that, and then we
I
can
will do that right now. Let's see.
It was all MMAS and MS.
And if anybody joined, you wouldn't mind putting yourself on mute, that would be super helpful.
See. I'm still letting people in, trying to let people in, not miss them. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
See some familiar faces on the
All
camera.
right. So,
Happy New Year, if I haven't said Happy New Year to y'all before.
Yeah.
so can I make two people the host? I guess I can, right?
You can make us co-hosts.
Yep.
Oh gosh, now you're asking the.
Oh, no. Actually, now Christine's in charge. She's the host. She can make me co-host.
Okay, so I have you in, Christine. I have you in as the host. So you're ready.
All right, we're ready. Well, thanks everybody. This is a well-attended meeting today. So we appreciate your time. I'm Christine Prophet. I work with Integrity. I lead the sales effort for Integrity Staffing Solutions. And actually next week, I will celebrate my 23rd anniversary with Integrity. So I have been in the sales function the whole time, which has been pretty exciting, pretty challenging at times, but definitely worthwhile. So I'm excited to be a co-host here with Marianne. Marianne, I don't know if you need to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Christine. Yes, I'm Marianne McLaughlin. So I'm a managing partner of Butler Street. And Butler Street is, as I think everyone knows, a consulting and training firm that really supports the staffing industry. Mike Jackatone and I started it about 10 years ago, and we are having the time of our lives getting to work with people like you. Prior to that, I grew up in sales. I was in sales for 20 years in the print industry, and then moved into the staffing industry. It started in strategic sales and moved up from that perspective and ended up as COO of a healthcare staffing company. So love the industry and love this group. And we're excited to be able to kick off the mastermind. Roy, did you want to say anything about it, or you just want us to go?
Well, I just wanted to thank both Marianne and Christine for this is a new mastermind. And I want to thank both of them for taking the lead on this. And looks like it's going to be a very popular mastermind. You got a good group on the line, and you got two really super people. You got Christine Prophet, who's probably one of our larger staffing companies. They're in excess of $400 million in annual revenue. And you got Marianne McLaughlin, who's probably got one of the top, if not the top sales training companies in the country for the staffing industry. So thanks to both of you, and I'll turn it over real quickly. So, Christine?
Super. Well, thanks everybody. So I know some of us here are visual people. I did put some slides together to kind of keep us on track, just to make sure that, everybody is satisfied as we go through the meeting. And I will share those, and hang on one second. There we go. And our goal for today really is to, there's three things we want to do today. One, we want to make sure that this time that we share together is valuable, right? Our plan is to host this meeting. Hang on a second, more people are coming in here. Our goal here is to make this as valuable as possible, and to host this session at least once a quarter. I think, the second month of the quarter probably is good. Everybody has the first month of the quarter out of the way. But the three goals for today is to gain agreement on our agenda for this meeting. We had an idea about picking a book that we could all kind of engage with and get the conversation starting. And then we want to share a sales challenge, right? So maybe kind of like a round robin type thing to share a sales challenge and see what we can kind of chew up and spit out, and see what we can do to help one another. So with that, let's kind of get rolling here. So we have a little bit, not many rules, but rules of engagement. We have our suggested meeting agenda, our book club challenge, and then, of course, our topics for discussion. So rules of engagement. Can you all see my slides? Because my screen is not highlighting. Okay, good. This is your group, right? So I think Marianne and I are here to just help kind of drive the conversation and keep us all collaborating with one another. And this is also for you to invite anybody on your sales team whom you might think can get something out of it, or who might be facing a unique challenge that some of us could maybe shed some light on, or maybe help them cross a deal over the finish line. That would be great. We absolutely want to have this as an open forum for discussion, with some ground rules, as you'll see in my in the agenda suggestion, but really just kind of problem solving for the rest of us, right? We're all out there trying to drum up job orders. It's been probably as tough as any year I've seen, right? Last year was tough. This year, starting out of the gate, is a little tougher, though a little easier than the end of last year. But there are other things that we've run into too, right? So contract negotiations, or markups, or gross margin percent, or top of the funnel total number of activities, right? It could be really anything related to sales. We'd like to keep the topics to sales to talk about. And then just, there's no question or topic that we won't entertain, right? As long as it's related to sales. We do want to keep it there if we can, because there's many staffing topics that we can talk about, but let's keep this to our sales team and make sure that we all can get something out of it. What we wanted to share too, before we kind of go into the meeting agenda and then our discussion topic, is the ASGroup has a LinkedIn page, which Marianne and I kind of discovered as we were thinking of a way for this group outside of the meeting to kind of keep communicating. So let's see here. I'm going to go to my LinkedIn page and open up that group, hopefully. Come on, computer.
While you're opening, I just want to mention it is a closed group, so
Yep.
I can invite people to come in, or you can ask to come in, and then I'll let you in right away, knowing that you're an ASGroup member. So
Exactly.
Roy, do we email those email addresses to you to be approved? Is that the process?
I believe you could just go in and ask, if you go into this LinkedIn
Yes.
group, you can ask to be to
You
join.
ask to join. Yep, you can ask to join. So if you, we'll share the link. I think the link is in the meeting invite, actually, the link to this group. Go ahead and click on that link, and anybody who wants to join this will hit the link to join. I'm already a member, so I can't hit it here, but to join it, and then Christine and Roy can give you guys access. It's really very simple.
It's
I'm gonna-
very easy. We get alerted right away.
Good. I'm going to drop it in the chat as well.
Okay,
Perfect.
all right, great, awesome. So what we want to do here is, if you can see, Christine has been reminding us today to not forget about this super great mastermind here. And what we want to use this for, and this can evolve over time, but sharing our wins, right? Let's, if we come up with some sort of a solution in this group, and someone has success using that solution, it would be awesome for us to just post that win here. Or maybe as a team, we ran into something and we need an immediate answer. You can post something in LinkedIn, and we can, whoever has some insight or can help solve that problem can do that as well.
Christine, before we move on, one thing that's not on the agenda that got posted in chat, and I think it's a really great question, is do we have a set date and time for these meetings to be held? For example, once a quarter, 3 p.m., second Thursday of the month, something like that. That way you can put it on your calendar for your teams, your sales teams. I agree that we should get those on the calendar and make them as steady as possible. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. So
Absolutely.
how does everybody feel about the second Thursday of the second month of the quarter, which is today, right? So in Q1, that's today. So second Thursday in the second month of the quarter.
At this time.
At this time.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Awesome.
That was easy. Salespeople are easy. That's awesome.
Okay.
Right. So we'll make sure that gets on your calendar for the rest of the year. And right now we have it as a 60-minute meeting. We don't want to take up too much of everybody's time in the afternoon, but if we find that, our discussions are kind of beating up against that timing, we'll take a vote on extending that time or not. We'll keep it at 60 minutes. Does anybody have any questions on the LinkedIn page at all? Or why, or have any recommendations on things we can post there? Everybody's doing double duty. Okay, super. So let's take a peek quickly here at a suggested agenda. So in really trying to keep, is there a question?
I
All right.
don't think so. I'll monitor the chat while you're sharing the screen, Christine,
Okay,
and
great.
if something comes in.
Perfect. So in an effort to keep this really to an hour for us, right, every quarter, this is the proposed agenda. You'll see there's 5 sections here. The bookends of this agenda really will be quick every week, right? We just want to do a quick check-in, right? So that we can see how everybody's doing on a scale of 1 to 10 today, right? And, you know, kind of just sharing, hey, one thing that you're grateful for, and we're all going to have something different to share. But I think that sets the tone for a really good meeting, right? And it'll just be a quick round robin, and we'll go through that process. The second, I think, will help us kind of come up with some discussion topics, right? So we're going to call it the whip round. And again, kind of round robin style, right? Until we kind of get to know one another here and figure out exactly, you know, a line for the meeting. Just a 2 to 3 minute update and share what wins or challenges or roadblocks or any lessons learned that we've had since the last meeting. And I think that'll just help kind of get our game face on as we're trying to help one another. It's nice when we hear what's happening between us, right? Because a lot of us are going to be experiencing the same things, which helps us, right? It helps us feel a little bit more validated. And then some of us are just going to have some really unique items that, you know, roadblocks that we're facing that, you know, we'll get to problem solve together. What this agenda does too is, you know, it is going to request you to prepare slightly before the meeting, just so you have your thoughts on mind, right, for some sort of staffing sales conversation, right, so that we all can come here and contribute something to our team. The next would be the discussion question. And I have an example question here for today, which we'll get to. My thought is that when we do the open floor, we're going to determine maybe the question either in the meeting, in today's meeting for our next,
So you want it in your office?
Yeah.
or we're going to
Back in there.
determine it from our LinkedIn chats, right? So maybe somebody had something really urgent that came up and we saw that in the LinkedIn group. Maybe we'll use that for the discussion topic. We'll get the question out a couple days before we have the meeting. That would be my goal, so that we have some time to think about what that question is, and bring some solutions to the table. I think it'll help the dialogue go a little bit more smoothly. And then Marianne and I were thinking about a book challenge, which I think is great. I had a guy on our team who used to do this every quarter with his team, where they would read a book and then come together every other week or so and just kind of pick out the lessons learned. And I just think it's a good way to kind of get out of the day-to-day. So we wanted to offer that as a challenge where we're going to pick a book here after this slide, and then our next meeting, let's see, you know, 1 to 2 takeaways, you know, what you took from that book and what you implemented in your team, and share it with the group, if everybody's cool with that.
So I want, you know, we don't have the opportunity to build a poll on the fly here, the way that this particular Zoom is set up, but I think we can just use the chat. If you know, if y'all just put like a Y for yes, I think that's good, or no, a Y or an N.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, good. It looks like Ys are coming in. So
All right, good.
don't hesitate to say no if you don't think it's good use of your time. So
Exactly. We want this to be beneficial for everybody. And then the last part of our meeting is really just giving feedback on the meeting, right? This is something that we do at Integrity with all of our meetings. We grade every meeting, A to D. And if we didn't grade it an A, what would have made it an A? Not what was wrong with the meeting, but, you know, we're not grading the presenter either. We're actually grading the meeting, the content of the meeting. And if it wasn't an A, if you didn't get something out of it, what would have made it an A for you? that also helps to shape the next conversation that we have. So don't be afraid to give us your scores at the end of the meeting. Sound good? Awesome. Okay. So there were two books that we've been kicking around, not necessarily directly related to sales, but the topics of these books help improve sales or help improve the headspace of a salesperson, potentially. And one of them is the Energy Bus. And it's a pretty quick book, a quick read, but has really, a couple of good rules that you can apply with your team. So most of us do startup meetings, right? So some of these rules can, we can just have a quick little discussion in our startup meetings with our team members or in our sales meeting, just pulling some things out to help us get the right mindset, right, in place every day or every week or however often you guys meet. That's one suggestion. Another one that is kind of interesting is called The Purple Cow. And this is a story or a tale that will share with you a way to not be forgotten, right? So something that can help you be a purple cow in a sea of black and white ones, right? So some ideas on how to be unique and how to stand out from your competitors, your competition, right? Hey, we're all going after the same stuff, right? So what is it that we can do to kind of put a little flair on our game, right? Or in our meetings to help us stand out. There was a host of other books that we could have like spat out at you, but some of you might have read one or two recently that might even be a better selection. So I'd love to just open the floor and see what you guys think about, one, doing this, and then two, a book suggestion.
And Karen Andler, if you don't mind. Oh, she says that so everybody said yes that has responded in the chat. And Karen said, kind of doing one right now. So you don't want to double up.
Oh, okay.
The Attributes by Rich Divini. I've not heard of that before. You want to share a little bit about what that is, Karen? If you think that's a good one?
Yeah, well, it is kind of a deep dive. So there is actually an assessment that you take that goes along with it. And then, it talks about the main attributes that we each possess and where we score with those attributes. We're kind of getting further into the book right now. It is really good. But are you a driver? Do you have grit? Do you have courage? Perseverance? Where do you rank on all of those? What's the top? But yeah, these are, it's really good. But I mean, Purple Cow sounds cool too, so.
Yeah, so that's a really good idea as well, right? So it's about, taking that attribute finder and figuring out what yours are and how to apply it, right? Is that what you guys are learning, how to apply it and how to apply it to other people that might be different than you, or to, even just a sales meeting, right? Figuring out how to rely on your strengths.
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's more of a strengths versus a sales, but it's, how do you relate with other people that are at different levels, or even people that are on your level.
Okay, super. All right, we got 3 in the mix. Anybody else? No other takers? Anybody read anything recently that you thought was a good little Kickstarter for our team? Okay, super. So should we take a vote on which one? One of the 3?
Let's do it.
Okay. So let's pick one and then we'll go to our discussion topic, which is, I think, what'll get us all kind of revved up here.
How about we
So,
do the easy
yeah.
one? So, oh, okay, they're coming in. I was gonna say Energy Bus is 1, Purple Cow is 2, Attributes is 3. But I'll keep track of them, Christine, as they're
Okay.
coming in. There's, so far it's kind of half and half, so stay tuned, team. Keep moving.
Super. All right. Well, we want to have this dialogue today. And the question that I wanted to pose to you all is, what sales challenge are you facing right now that needs to be solved? Right. And can I preface that with, I need more job, I need more job orders. Like we know we all need more job orders. Let's be a little more specific than we all need more job orders, right? So what sort of sales challenge are we facing, whether you are actually in the role of doing sales or if you're leading sales people? What's the challenge that we're facing right now? I know I can share one of the challenges that we seem to have right now is just getting enough top of the funnel sales activities done in a week, right? Because I think right now, it's taking more work for us to get job orders, right? It's taking a little bit more work, and maybe, during the pandemic, if you were lucky enough to be able to work in, essential businesses or supporting essential businesses, getting job orders was like shooting fish in a barrel, as we've said here at Integrity quite a few times. And it's not that easy anymore, right? And it's almost like we've had to retrain our salespeople's brains on how much work goes into getting a job order, right? It's a lot of work. So I don't know if anybody has any thoughts around that or anything you guys have tried to really motivate your sales team and get that work done. Or if you have magic numbers.
So this is Ashley Spencer with United Talent Staffing.
Hi.
We started doing cold call Fridays. We have a theme every week. We have a competition on who does the most cold calls with bonus points for setting up discovery meetings, getting job orders, etc. And in the month of January, we completed almost 800 cold calls, which, I haven't been able to put all the data together, but we had probably 15 discovery meetings come out of that, which also yielded new job orders. And so we're continuing that in February because we're also seeing a lot of doors being locked. People are remote now, so they're not there to answer, take the bricks or, our information. And so we said we'd combat it the other way. We'd go back to cold calls and make it fun. And so this week is Jersey Friday for Super Bowl. And the winning branch gets free lunch on the company. So
I like it. Now, when you say cold calls, is it knocking on doors or is it the phone?
it is on the phone.
Okay.
I just realized my camera was off. Yeah, so everything we do on Friday, it's 9 to 3 p.m. And it's all phone work on previous brick drops throughout the week, prior clients trying to get reactivations. And that's probably more than we had all of last year.
Love
And
it.
we just put a little theme with it and free lunch, and they seem to like it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hey, y'all, that's a great idea, by the way.
Yeah.
Ashley, thank you. I'm Gary Graham. I work with Graham Personnel here in North Carolina. And one approach that we've taken is really a consultative basis where we just put together, we had 150 clients and prospective clients come to a joint seminar series yesterday. And we flew in Ron Hetrick from Lightcast and really kind of laid some pretty powerful data down with our clients and prospective clients on what the labor market's going to look like for the next 5 or 10 or 15 years. And so we're doing more and more of that, partnering with law firms on providing consultative information for our clients and taking the approach of being a solutions provider. We still have tons of activity, but actually, I think your idea on just cold calling Friday is excellent. But that's something that's working for us. It's long and laborious, and it takes some investment.
It does. I love that idea. I know we did that once or twice. How do you approach the invites? Is it anybody that your team's calling on, or is it a select amount of?
Yeah, so I think everybody will probably appreciate this. So we have a select group. We have priority 1, 2, and 3. We do reach out to some influencers, I guess is the best way to put it, and y'all probably see this in your area, but in our area, there's a variety of leadership consultants, HR consultants. God bless the private equity people. And so influencers or Vistage or whatever else. And we do have to watch that list. I mean, we constantly have to battle with somebody who's probably not going to be there. No, not trying to ruffle anybody's feathers, but bankers, some other staffing groups. Sometimes we have to disinvite to our stuff, which is amazing. But yeah, you have to manage it. And then we have our marketing team working on that.
Or you just make them pay half, Gary.
Yeah.
Gary, a follow-up question to that, because I think that's a great idea, and people love that, somebody curate all that thought leadership. Do you target a particular persona, like you have an HR specific one or a CFO specific one, or do you keep it more broad?
So we partner with an insurance group that's a great group here in kind of the Southeast, Scott Insurance, to help with our reach, so we can reach out to the COOs, in the C-suite. And then as an owner of a staffing group with my business partner, who's my younger brother, we're focusing on C-suite leadership, and my sales team is focusing on HR mostly.
Got it.
However, by providing them this opportunity, we did really help them open the door to some upper level leadership that maybe they couldn't get in front of through their natural sales process, right? Where they were being blocked at purchasing or HR or wherever else. So I think they appreciated it, and we're excited about the investment that we made. And so we're ramping that up. I don't know what I'm going to do next, but I'll probably do something similar third quarter.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk at the, last, end of Q3, Q4 about the Sandsdemic. So I know it's on the mind of all, people who employ, a large group of folks. So that was a great idea about the labor market, the topic as labor market.
Yes, so if I might say something too, when I owned my staffing company, it's interesting, Gary, you mentioning that, and the lady that, mentioned about the Cold Call Fridays. We did a couple of those things. The Cold Call Fridays, I have a whole process in writing that I can share with people. That's a similar program where you would get people to come in on, whether it be a Wednesday or whatever, and you designate the whole day with a contest and different prizes. One for the person who made the most cold calls, one for the person who brought in the most orders, one who got the most new significant contacts. And at the end of the day, everybody would get together in a room, and they would celebrate, and people would get the awards for whatever they did on that day. But I have a whole process written out that I'd be willing to share with everybody. Awesome. Secondly, Gary, on the one that you mentioned, we did that probably, and it was very successful too, as I remember. We did it for like 3 to 5 years. We called it breakfast briefings, and we did one every quarter or one every certain amount of time. And they were focused, Marianne. One might have been an HR focused session where it was HR people. Another one could have been for financial people. And you get some great speakers out there, like through Vistage. Maybe you get a Vistage person that would come in and speak maybe to the C-suite of people. So I might even have the process somewhere. I have to really dig into my old files and see if I have that for that too. So yeah, it's good to see a lot of these sales focused things coming back, and we're out of this COVID period. COVID was too easy. So Now I know business has been down a little, as you said, but I think COVID was too easy and we got to get back, all got to get back to selling.
Hey Roy, it's Vaughn from Empire. How are you? Can you share that sales blitz with me that you were talking about, if you can have it to share?
No, you're muted again, Roy.
I'd love it as well, Roy. It's Gary.
Yeah, since we talked about the LinkedIn group, maybe I can share it on there, or maybe just send it. Maybe I'll just send
You
it.
can put it on the Google Drive, Roy.
Yeah, and then we'll share it in the roster. So
Yeah.
Christine, you and I,
Let's talk, yeah.
and you and I can talk about it. We'll figure best way to send it out to everybody.
Sounds like a
Yeah.
plan.
Quick question for those of you doing this on Cold Calling Fridays. Are these already pre-qualified folks you're reaching out to, meaning they meet your criteria, they're the size of company you want to work with, you believe they have the type of workforce you'd want to support, or is it literally just getting the book of lists, getting a list of customers in a particular build or clients in a particular building, suspects in a particular building, reaching out to them? How focused is your reach outs?
So for us at United Talent, we are really pulling from our database in Aviante from previous brick drops, right? We've been there, we've followed up, and now we're making the calls to them. But we're not discouraging them from calling new companies either, right? I think any contact that we can have at this point to bring in new clients is where we're currently at.
Well, and I totally get that, and thank you for sharing that. But what I really mean is, without knowing anything about the customer, if they're not in your database, are you just reaching out to them, or do you know if they meet your criteria of the type of customer you want to work with, the type of candidates that they would use would be what your company focuses on, or is that all part of what you're cold calling on, is to discover whether or not they're a good match for you?
Yeah, I think we're encouraging to call everybody. So, and then we can set up the discovery. We focus in light industrial. So I know those are normally the clients that they are reaching out to. But yeah, we're really focusing on anybody that we can get a connection with, and then building a relationship from there, even if we have to go direct hire route at that point.
Great, thank you. And anybody else? I'm curious.
One thing that I saw in the chat too, and I'm sorry for any background noise here. In our chats, I saw a lot of people saying that they're encountering locked doors and telephones where you have to know their code number to just even dial them at this point in time. I'm in Minnesota and I'm hearing it's a nationwide thing. We really started discovering that last year. So our team started the Butler Street program, and I see some other people on the program today that are also in it with us, and really learning how to qualify the clients, how to reach them with LinkedIn. And basically we're going to kind of revamp everything that we've been doing, because we used to do a lot of cold calling. We used to knock on the doors, and we're trying to target some larger companies, like 50 employees and larger. And even the clients that we've been calling for a long time are discontinuing having people at the front desk and are locking doors. So we're transforming and taking this time when it's a little slower to try to figure out our next steps.
Karen, that's a good comment. When we did ours around what Butler Street had trained us to do too. All of our, we had scripted type, everybody had to follow up with a scripted email or a scripted phone message. So that we're all on the same page and we're saying very similar things. But we did use Butler Street and a lot of the things and the techniques that we learned from their training also. To use in those contests.
And I really appreciate that. And what we're seeing, the data shows that it takes 13 and a half touches just to get somebody to want to engage with you. And so the fact that you're doing these cold call Fridays, I mean, there's a lot of attempts that you should make before you even try to go visit them, because A, you can't get in the door in a lot of cases, but B, if they know who you are, or they have an idea because they've seen some emails or some great scripts, they may be more apt to have that conversation, you know, on the fly. So anxious to hear how it goes.
Yeah, Marianne, I totally agree with you. And that's a lot of the research that we've done is, 12 to 14 contacts before they'll even entertain a conversation with you. So we've put together a lot of different automations of reach outs, thought leadership, blogs, things that would be of interest to them. And then we would track whether or not they're coming to our website, they've opened those emails if there's an interest. And then it's a great way to follow up with the phone call and say, hey, I noticed that you did this. And it just makes it a much softer call. And it also, we can target the audience, the size we want, the skill set that we support, that we know they need, what research we've done on LinkedIn, that we know that, hey, they're the type of customer we want, as opposed to just dialing for dollars and not knowing anything about what you're going after. So to your point, that's exactly what we're doing right now.
That's great.
Kyle,
Oh, I was just going to ask, what kind of results are you seeing so far?
That's a great question. I'll tell you, we're in the process right now of completely reworking with Haley Marketing and redesigning our website. Our website's very old, and bringing it more current, bringing it up to speed. We recently hired somebody on a customer marketing side that's doing a lot of creations of our journeys. We're writing a lot of blogs about hiring and what the marketplace is doing, that we're putting those out. And I'd say it's probably too early to see what kind of response, what our ultimate responses are. But I can tell you, every Tuesday when we send out our blogs, we do a blog a week. We're getting a lot of click-throughs, a lot of reads, and we're just starting to get a lot of interest and starting to follow up with them. I think we probably in the past month had 2 new orders that had come in with 2 new customers. But we expect that to continue to grow as we continue to roll this out. It's still very new for us, but that's the approach, kind of the Tom Herb approach that we've kind of tweaked a bit that would make it better for us and in our marketplace. But we're definitely finding it's much more focused, it's much more concentrated in the response, and the interest in who we are and what we do is making them come to us, as opposed to, I just need a temp. There's an interest in the partnership based on the thought leadership and how we're approaching them.
Kyle, I had a quick question. How many journeys are you launching on the sales side currently?
I would say right now our goal would be 12 different journeys. But we're also doing a journey that is all about, hey, you've been recommended to us as someone who might like to be a part of our network, part of our thought leadership. So we've got a separate journey that's going out to what we call suspects, that we believe they're a good match for us, we're a good match for them. And we're basically asking their permission to include them in our thought leadership blogs that we're sending out every month. Every week. So it's a bit different from the other journeys, but once we get a response, then we move them into the other journeys. That makes sense.
Oh, I like that. Thank you.
Is it 12 at one time or one journey a month?
No, one journey a month, and some of the journeys are even less or more than that, depending on what our approach is and what we're asking them, what we're sharing when what our approach is.
Great, I love that. I love looking for other thought leaders. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, Tom Herb's work was good. We kind of tweaked it, adjusted it, and made it a little bit more for us. And then TriStar has been a great partner to kind of discuss what's worked for them, what hasn't been working for them. They too are doing a lot of what we're doing, or I should say, we're doing a lot of what they're doing. Is what I should say. They've been very open to working with our owner and with our marketing director. So it's been a good journey for us, no pun intended. But it's just we feel it's a little bit more thoughtful, more focused way to go after new prospects or suspects before they become prospects.
Anybody else?
I will do the Purple Cow seems to have won the vote for the book. So those who want to participate or want your teams to participate, it will be the Purple Cow. We'll do a follow-up on that. And I also think we should post that in the LinkedIn group.
Yes. I'll post a link to get it on Amazon. I actually think I saw it even on Audible for nothing. Like I think you can download it on Audible for nothing. So
You know,
okay, so
sorry, I
good.
don't
We're
want
gonna-
to, I'm sorry for interrupting. One other thing I thought I would bring up that we found really helpful is we have what we call recruiter espionage, and they're they are rewarded $15 for every lead that they enter into what we call an espionage spreadsheet. But what they're required to do is to, you know, off of a resume, off of a reference, off of LinkedIn, when they've got downtime, is to go out and find customers who we believe are a good match. They might have seen an ad on Indeed. They might have gone to their site and seen, wow, they're, you know, up to 800 employees. They're specific to the Pacific Northwest. They're administrative clerical. They're right in our bailiwick. Then you go to Email Scoop and you find out who the contacts are and you get their email addresses. So we know that that's the kind of target customer we want. And that gets on our, what we call our recruiter espionage spreadsheet, which then goes into our first journey of saying, hey, we think you'd find a lot of interest in our thought leadership blogs that we send out. Would you like to participate, et cetera, et cetera. So we really involve everyone in the company doing this espionage to help build our suspect list and to keep that funnel filled. Because as you all know, we get people that want to be dropped off. Please remove me from your distribution list. I don't want to receive these anymore. So we want to make sure that any we remove, we're continuing to refill that funnel with more suspects and more prospects. It's been very good for the team. It's a little bit of an incentive for them receiving a little bit of a extra bump in a paycheck bonus for finding these leads for us. Sorry, don't mean to keep interrupting.
We
No,
also
that's great.
we also do kickers, very similar to that, Kyle, in regards to staffing specialists or recruiters being able to bring those leads to the table. So they get a kicker if they skill market that turns into a discovery, or if they are able to find an account that we can get a discovery set up for. So we give them additional incentives for those to help them, right? Go to LinkedIn, find companies and build off of that.
Awesome. Yeah, great. Neat.
That's good. I got a list of ideas today so far. That's awesome. Anybody else have anything to share?
How about referrals? Is anybody currently ramping up a referral program or leaning heavily into that? That's one when we, you know, it's kind of like these cold call Fridays. When we go through trainings with various folks, these are not new concepts. They're just basics that somehow kind of fell by the wayside. And the real proactive behavior around getting referrals seems to be one of those that people are like, yeah, I don't do that very much anymore. So is anybody pushing or leaning into that or have a program that they're using that's working?
So we have not tracked it yet, Marianne, but something that I've been working with the team members in the field this year has been, as we're talking to the decision makers, is asking them where they've worked before, because there has been quite a lot of, you know, change happening in, for us, light industrial, right? Logistics, management. And just in Baltimore this week, we got 3 referrals from a customer, right? I haven't tracked it across the company yet, but just asking them where they worked before.
Yeah.
Without putting the pressure on them to say referral, right? Because if they can talk about where they worked before and how they use staffing, then eventually it's an okay time to say, hey, you know, do you know anybody over there right now? You know, can you give us a little, you know, a little intro, which has worked. So
Fabulous.
Susan.
I don't know how to raise my hand on this thing, so I just physically raised my hand. Thanks, Mayor. We started using staffing referrals program to formalize that, and it has worked out beautifully for us. Our numbers are up across the board. We started it in second quarter of last year. Third quarter, we went up. Fourth quarter, we shot up. And first quarter this year, we're still shooting up. We formalized it, but it's just an easy way of tracking it. And it's worked out really well for us. It's a way to send out a digital package for referrals, and then it's saved in the software, and it's easy for us to send a bonus or a, even if it's just a $50 or $100 bonus or a gift card or something of the like. But it tracks it and it actually monetizes it for people, because anyone that you send that referral to becomes what they call a brand ambassador for you. And they actually have a portal that they can look at and see as their people have responded. It's a really smart way. It's a lot of stuff we already do, but it's a formalized way of looking at it and tracking it. And it's been really good for us.
And Susan, do you do that for talent or customers?
Talent.
Okay. Has anybody tried that for clients? Does it work on the client side?
Yeah, so several people in a group that I belong to do it. We haven't tried it yet. I kind of want to get a year under my belt before I do that on the candidate side. But yes, we're going to be trying that for the client side as well.
Yes, we do it also for talent, but we haven't tried to do it for clients yet. So curious. Okay, good.
That's the next stage, but other people have had real success doing it as well.
Awesome. All right. Anything else to share? Okay.
I was just gonna say, I think networking is gonna be the new norm as well. So,
That is music to my ears, and our team is like kicking and screaming about doing it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how well it works, and as long as you get in the right networks. But I'm trying my hand at it.
Karen, she joined a BNI network like a month ago, and she's already speaking on a panel of experts on hiring practices and everything in like a couple of weeks. So it's working pretty good so far.
Well, I love it. Marianne and Christine and I talked about something like that when we were planning this mastermind, something focused on networking.
Yeah, that would be, we can maybe do that as a topic one day. That's good. All right, folks, we're coming up on 10 minutes till top of the hour. So we have decided on the purple cow.
Yes.
We will send notes out after this meeting, by the way. So I know there's a lot of things that I captured. We'll make sure that we have something to share back with you. And then, so when you download the book, you read the book, if something's like an aha moment, don't forget about our LinkedIn page. Like, let's try to kind of stay active over the next quarter with one another and see if there's anything that, we can capture on LinkedIn, share on LinkedIn. But as you, engage in that book, really dig in, figure out if there's something you can use for your team, try to implement it so that when we come back next time, you can share what worked and what kind of result you got from it. I think that would be fantastic.
So I would say, as we're closing out, maybe from a chat perspective, if you could pick the one topic, knowing that you're going to invite your salespeople potentially to this, like what's one topic that we could be prepared with some best practices, not a ton of time with it, but just say, like, for example, networking or client referrals or, anything. It's just, if you want us to be prepared so that we have like a little, like 10-minute maybe education and the rest can all be open. We're happy to do that. So we just need a little advance notice. If you want to put it in now, we can do it. Or Christine, we can always send something out perhaps a couple of weeks before the next session.
For sure.
Good. Awesome. All right, well, let's roll. We'll give you guys 5 minutes back. Let's grade the meeting. Let's go around the horn. Should we do it? There we go. We're going to do it in the chat, I guess. Okay, let's do it in the chat. And remember, if you're going to give it a B or a C, that's cool. Just tell us what would have made it better.
While you guys are doing this in the chat, and I know you all intuitively know it, but I saw some actual data at a conference a couple weeks ago. That was a HR thought leadership, and they were talking about meetings and this world of today where we're doing Zoom meetings back to back to back to back to back, and we've gotten in that habit of never taking a breather. They did some studies with people's brains, and they had 4 meetings in a row. And if there were 4 meetings back to back, the image of the brain, if it was blue and green, means they were firing and they were engaged. And when it started to turn red and orange, it obviously meant you were burnt out and you're like, you're not able to focus as much. When there was no time in between meetings, by the 3rd meeting, almost 50% of the brain had turned red and orange. And by the 4th meeting, almost entirely. But then they did it again with a 10-minute break in between, and it stayed blue and green the whole time. So just as kind of if you can figure out how to work with your team and their calendars to make sure that they're taking like a 5 and 10-minute break between meetings to get their brains working again, that might also help the energy level. So
That's great.
Marianne, that's such a great point. And I think getting folks out of the habit of believing that meetings should be 1.5 hour increments. Schedule your meetings for 50 minutes. Schedule it for 20. Really schedule it for the amount of time you need. It just, everybody pops an hour on and you're going to take an hour. So do it for 50 minutes. You'll be guaranteed that 10-minute time space.
And just know that some people don't like Zoom calls. They want to get out and meet people again in person. And it's been so rewarding.
Yes.
I'm so thankful that people are back into the normal swing of things again.
Fabulous comment. Love it.
Agreed.
Especially for us high energetic engaging salespeople.
Staying at home is not fun. I was cooped up for 3 years, and I am so thankful to be physically back in an office and out actually shaking hands again that it's not funny.
Good.
So just a quick comment. I remember when the days we had an office in the city, and at that time my father was my boss. He was a former IBM executive. And if I came in at 3 o'clock and he'd look out the window out there and he'd say, "Did you start at the top of all those office buildings and knock on every door?" And we used to do that. I'll tell you, we used to be able to get into office buildings and you just start on the top floor and you knock on doors. And you had so much fun with the receptionist and getting around and trying to get contacts.
Or get walked out by the security guards.
That was a badge of honor.
I did that last week.
Yep, that's good. That's awesome. All right, friends. Well, you get 5 minutes back in your day. I wish you all the best weekend and a lot of success between now and our next meeting.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Christina, Marianne. Great job.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I heard it come on.